Hello everybody, it is I, Sam Law, and yesterday, as of the recording of this video, I had the chance to visit a Sarah Brightman concert, and since this is supposed to be a vlog channel, I thought I would talk about my experiences attending such concert. Now, for those of you who do not know, Sarah Brightman is a classical singer, a soprano, who is able to hit really, really, really high notes, and she's just I would say the most famous classical singer, at least on the side of females, that most people would know of. That still doesn't ring a bell, you can either look her up or you can imagine this for a moment. If you are at all anywhere aware of the song The Phantom of the Opera, that song was written for her. For her to reach those high notes, that song was written for her. Now, I won't be showing any clips because it was respectful for you to not record during the artist's performance, and it was actually requested of you that you didn't have your phones out taking pictures and all of that during the performance, which is fine, it's understandable, but that just means that you guys are going to have to go and look elsewhere to check her out if you've never heard of her before. Now, on our way, because I went with my family, on our way to the States, we had a 2-hour-long wait at the border because, you know, I live in Canada. I live in currently BC, Vancouver area. And the border took 2 hours to get. So normally it would take roughly 2 hours to drive from where I live all the way down to Seattle. That is, if you don't include the wait time and all that can happen at the border. And unfortunately, like I just said, we had a 2-hour wait, which was due to 3 things. Spring break, the Emerald City Comic Con, which I believe had some of the members, if not all of the members of Critical Role there. If you don't know who Critical Role is, they're a D&D group who often performs live on Twitch, and they even have their own channel. It's great for those who are interested in that kind of thing. And then, of course, you had the Sarah Brightman concert, and who knows whatever else was going on at the time. It was packed. We should have left earlier, but we didn't. Needless to say, after we got to the border, we made some stops, did some shopping. I had Chick-fil-A for the first time. Amazing place. If you guys ever have the chance to go to a Chick-fil-A, I highly suggest you do so. Now, the Chick-fil-A isn't in Seattle. It's in Linwood, which is about 30 minutes from Seattle. I also got some really nice shoes, but that's besides the point. So I went all dressed up to the concert. We made it to the concert at around probably, I want to say 6:30, around that time. The concert started at 8. We made it there at around 6:30. And initially, we were sat way, way, way at the back. Like, the farthest back, the backest that you can go, that's where we were, initially. We enter the doors, they scan our tickets, and we're given a surprise. We are brought to the second balcony, and we are brought to like 3 seats away from the balcony, which is surprisingly very close to the stage. So, like, almost right down the center, we could see Sarah Brightman, we could see all the other guests that she had on, the bands, all that. We didn't have to have her, like, use binoculars or anything, which we would have if we had sat, like, way up at the back. So that was a pleasant surprise. That was a very, very nice surprise. And then, when the concert began, it wasn't just a hello everybody. No, the concert began with her coming out and immediately singing. And which just sent shivers down my spine. Like, that first note she hit sent shivers down my spine. For me, Sarah Brightman is one of those people who has that siren, angelic, hypnotic, enchanting kind of voice to the point where she's able to capture your attention. Well, at least she was able to capture my attention at any rate. And I was just captivated by her singing, by what she was doing. And it was just like, I hardly paid attention to the choir. I knew that they were there. And when she went off, I kind of saw them. Or when a song started with the choir singing, I looked to them. And same thing with the band or the orchestra that she had there. But for the most part, my mind was on Sarah Brightman. And I can honestly not recall how many dress changes she went through. After 5, I lost count. And it was a 2-hour concert, and during those 2 hours, there was a brief intermission, but during those 2 hours, I was just captivated by her singing. Now, of course, she was there singing on her hymn tour, which is the latest CD that is coming out, is her hymn, and that has a few Christian songs on it, which I appreciate as I am a Christian, and just like watching her like sing was just so, I was entranced. Like, I could not see, the thing is, I really like women and singers with a higher tone of voice rather than a lower tone of voice. That is just a personal preference that I have. And when a woman is able to have like a higher pitch voice when she's talking or all that, it sounds like a melody to me. That is, of course, a personal preference. Everybody has their different why can I not say this word? Preferences. There we go. And the type of voice Sarah Brightman has happens to be one of mine, which also goes to state as to why I like Vetus, who is a male soprano. And if you don't know who Vetus is, he is the guy who they use to sing in the movie The Fifth Element. He was the kind of like alien girl singing, or at least his voice is what they used for her to sing, at any rate. So I'm watching this concert and I'm just absolutely captivated. They've got like smoke machines, they've got lighting, and there are certain times where so the thing with the concert is she wasn't singing all the songs from him, which many artists, when they go on tour, they don't always sing all the songs that are on the track that they have going for them. They'll sing a few songs on that track, and then they'll sing songs from previous tracks, which is exactly what she did. And many of which I recognize, some of which I didn't recognize because they were from, shall we say, operas or operettas. That's another thing that she sings. So she'll sing opera, she'll sing classical, she'll sing kind of like, is postmodern classical a thing? I don't even know what that sounds like. But in either case, she switches from like classical singing to like operatic singing, which makes sense because of how high her voice can reach. And so at times she would seem ethereal and like almost spirit-like. Especially with the way she dressed, and she'd like kind of vanish. The way they had their smoke machines, she would just vanish into the smoke and just disappear. It was amazing. Of course, you could kind of see her like going to the backstage to get like ready into another dress or whatever, or for another song. But the effect that they had going on is that when she was walking away, she would slowly begin to vanish as if she was some kind of ethereal spirit, which was like really impressive. And I had goosebumps several times watching the show. I had goosebumps, and the one part that had all the fans freaking out, and it was completely unexpected. Nobody was because nobody was expecting it. It was a pleasant surprise. With one of the guests she had on there, I believe it was Victor Ricardo. She sang the Phantom of the Opera, with him playing, of course, the role of the Phantom. And he was the male tenor that she had on as a guest to sing some songs with her, along with another person whose name I can't exactly pronounce. It was something like Norches or Noctis or Norches. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce his name. But in either case, he was the male soprano that she has on. But anyways, back to the Phantom of the Opera. So, the Phantom of the Opera sings, which of course starts with the song Masquerade, and people are just like stunned, like, this is happening. This is happening right now. Because most of the people who go and see Sarah Brightman are very, 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 very familiar with the Phantom of the Opera. And so Victor Ricardo comes on, or should I say Victor Ricardo? I don't even know. Well, that was more Italian, wasn't it? I think he's Spanish. Anyways, the song starts, she comes on, he comes on, and the fans go wild, including myself. And of course we were like appreciative, and we kept quiet during the performance, which is requested of you. But when Masquerade started, fans started freaking out. And then when the song ended with the Phantom of the Opera, it was essentially a standing ovation. There were several times with her singing that there were standing ovations, and it was just a wonderful night altogether. She sang some lovely songs from the past, and she even, because of how much the fans loved what just happened, she sang 3 extra songs. Normally, artists may sing 1 extra song for an encore, but she decided to sing 3 extra songs, which was a even bigger treat. And it was a night. It was amazing. It was stunning. It was beautiful. It was enchanting. It was just, if I had the chance to go and see what she's like in other countries, in other cities, in other performances, I would love to take that. And it kind of makes me sad that I haven't been able to see any of her past performances, especially when she was a lot younger, and more energetic, because those performances might have been even more like, whoa. And so, yeah, it was just a wonderful night all around. And if you guys ever get the chance to go and see her by whatever means, I would suggest you do it. Now, of course, she's not the only one I want to see. I'd also like to see, like, people like, oh, I don't know, there are many Celtic women, Andre Rieu, there's a list. But, like, this was a treat. This was, yeah, so if you guys ever get the chance, I highly recommend you go and see her. And with that being said, I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.